freaking hot in here. I don't know how I'm gonna I don't know how I'm gonna keep that up. Oh my gosh. Hello fellow Groggers, welcome back to Grog Games. I am your boy, Super Potion. Scary Potion. I was that was my Halloween costume, FYI. I was a shadow man, you know, like a ghost. Last year we did some scary stories for Halloween, so I thought why not do that again this year. So I'm gonna read you 3 short scary stories, prepared to be spooked or whatever, because these are really scary. They're scarier than my costume, I'll tell you that. This first story is called Silent as the Grave. Credit goes to, of course, Fireside Chat 451. I don't know who this person is, but thank you. Silent as the Grave. Melody worked the night shift. Others might complain, but she didn't mind. She worked alone, and she liked it that way. It was peaceful. No coworkers to fill the air with needless chatter and disturb her concentration. No visitors from other departments with insipid questions. Just herself and her work. The hospital was never empty. Emergencies know no business hours, of course. But no one ever ventured into the morgue unless they absolutely had to. Melody was free to set to the never-ending stack of paperwork, earbuds flooding her mind with familiar tunes. So entombed at her desk, Melody bent to the task, her pen scratching over the Spartan forms. She'd been at it about an hour when she heard a tapping sound. She paused her music and listened. Silence filled the room. With a shrug, Melody restarted her playlist and turned back to her forms. She just finished one page when the tapping came again. Melody paused the music, taking out one earbud. "Hello?" she called. If there was someone at the door, that was usually enough to coax them inside. Silence. Weird. Maybe it was the pipes acting up again. Or rats in the ductwork. Those buggers always seemed to get in, no matter how many times the exterminator came. Irritated at the repeated interruptions, Melody went back to work. She'd barely put pen to paper when the tapping came again, louder and more insistent. With a growl of anger, Melody tossed her pen at the desk and stood. "I hear you," she yelled, as she stomped towards the door. "You can come in, you know, you don't have to." Jerking the door open, the words died in Melody's throat. There was no one there. She poked her head into the hallway, looking one way, then the other. But there was no one. Feeling uneasy, Melody closed the doors. It had to be the plumbing, she told herself. She was halfway back to her desk when the tapping came again. Without her earbuds, she could pinpoint the source. A chill of terror dripping down her spine, Melody turned to the stainless steel refrigerated cabinets. This time, the tapping didn't stop. Ooh, I could never work in a morgue. Terrible. I don't know what I would do in that situation. I'd probably just leave. On to our next story then. Number 2. Okay, this next story is called My Husband Has a Dark Side, and is by Sunshine Dreaming. My husband's family had a secret. A curse that passed from generation to generation like an heirloom of evil. I didn't believe in it. Didn't want to believe in it. It affected me all the same. We'd been married just over a year when his father died. Adam, my husband, took it hard. In between sobs, he choked out what was really bothering him. The curse had now passed to him. Now he would have to lock himself away every full moon. To protect me, he said, from him. I humored him, let him hide away in the spare room for a night each month. I thought it was grief making him delusional. I was wrong. Finally, he slipped up. 1 month of the year, it turns out, has 2 full moons. A blue moon. Adam forgot. We'd been out late that night, drinking at our local bar, having a good time, full of laughs that turned into something more as we made it to the doorway. We were in our bedroom when it happened. A sliver of moonlight cut through the blinds and illuminated his face in the darkness. Except it wasn't any face I knew. My sweet, loving husband was gone. The thing that held me was not of this world. His yellow eyes saw straight through me, and he licked his lips hungrily with a long, pointed tongue. I froze. Adam? I whispered. Long, spindly fingers coiled around my neck. A single tear slid down my cheek, and he brushed it away with a jagged finger. Adam's not here right now, the creature replied. He leaned forward and whispered softly in my ear. He won't be back for a while. Forked tongue, though. It's not a werewolf, but I mean that's even worse because like werewolf, you know what to expect, right? You know what to do against a werewolf. But I guess they could just not have kids because then it wouldn't pass down to the next person. Why did his father have him? Shouldn't he just stop the curse? I'm thinking too much. This last story is called I See How Much Time People Have Left, and it is by Thrawn 911, which is a Star Wars character, not the 9/11 part. I was around 5 when I discovered this superpower. I looked up at my mom and I saw something floating near her head. 39 years. I had no idea what it meant. I was a child. Then my father came home. 3 years. Next year it was only 2 years. Then only 1. Then it was 11 months. I started to become scared. It was a countdown. I was afraid he would die when it reached 0. And he did. One morning he went to work. The countdown said 4 minutes. Half an hour later we got a call from the police. He died in a car accident. I saw these numbers floating above every person's head I met. It's horrible. I saw how long my friends would live. After a few years, I just decided not to look there. I didn't want to know when I would lose them. When I met my now wife, I never looked at the number, not even once. And we've been together for 12 years. I was on a business trip in another state with my coworkers when I FaceTimed my wife. I accidentally saw the number above her head. 5 days. What's wrong? She asked. Nothing. Nothing, I answered. I slowly started panicking. You know, I think I'll come home a few days earlier. I bought a plane ticket immediately after the call ended and left my coworkers there. 5 hours later, I was already on the plane flying home. I can save her. I can save her, I repeated in my head. I won't let her leave the house that day. She'll be safe. I was so stressed, so I wanted to get some food to calm down. But as I looked at the person sitting ahead of me, he had 1 minute floating above his head. Holy shit, he'll probably get a heart attack soon. I looked at the person sitting beside me. 1 minute. Everyone on the plane had 1 minute floating above their heads. What the f***? Then the plane started to shake. Dear passengers, it's the pilot, he said through the speakers. The weather is quite bad here. There's a bit of turbulence. But you don't have to worry. Everything will be alright. Bro, that's some Death Note stuff. I would not want that power. I hope you enjoyed those 3 scary short stories. And, if you did, maybe we'll do this again next year. Probably. I don't know. I think it's a good idea. But that's all, fellow groggers. Happy Halloween. Eat some candy, not too much. Amethyst, you want to say goodbye? Goodbye.